200, how are you? Summer 2022. That has a amazing ring to it. And yeah, today is Thursday, May 19th. And this is a little primer on what you need to do to get an A and get the most you can out of GERO 200. The class officially begins um, on Monday, the 23rd of May. And you guys know what you're in for. Okay, you guys signed up for this, and so it is a compressed semester. All right, so instead of being 15 weeks, it is 6 weeks. Okay, which means you're going to have to stay on top of this. Okay, and really just get out your phone and calendar everything up. A lot of the weekly assignments, you have two during the week, and we'll see how that works. There's a discussion board that you'll interact in. There's also a quiz. And then the other thing that you really need to do is you need to calendar up the exams. Everything is open book, of course. Here's midterm 1 and midterm 2, multiple choice exams. Um, you also need to calendar up the writing assignments, okay? So we have a couple of short writing assignments that are really cool because they're interactive, where you're going to go gather data and then explain it based on your newfound knowledge about aging and really issues that are you're going to find that are very topical, very applied, that you're going to be put in use right away. You'll be talking to your friends and parents about what you're learning in this class from the get-go, which is cool. And then the very final paper, okay, right in here, is you go interview either your parent or grandparent or a friend who's older and get their perspective on what's going on. And it's something that I say time and time again, one of the best things to do is just to take out your phone and do short video clips, okay? Especially if it's obviously it's a family member, because then you get to archive this, and someday you'll be able to pass along the wisdom that you received from your grandparent, and just the really amazing interaction you had at this time with your grandparent to your grandchildren someday. So it's pretty cool. All right. So always, the first thing you do when you take a class is you go ahead and access the syllabus. You're going to see our Blackboard page is pretty custom, okay? And we got it dialed in. And so I teach this class with another professor here on campus. Happens to be my wife. She's an attorney and practiced law out in the private sector for years, and now she's a professor, so which is pretty awesome, and we complement each other in a lot of ways, which is cool. I'm the more biological perspective. She is law and also financing, and then along the way we both know a lot about just aging in general. All right, so this is the tried and true course description, the objectives, okay, that you can read through. I'm not going to read those for you. Obviously, you need to be able to access the internet, specifically Blackboard. There are some links that we will guide you to that is part of the interactive exercises, so you need to access it. You can use your phone. Obviously, it's better if you're using your PC or your Mac. In terms of submission of written material, we prefer that you convert things to a doc file, or even better, a PDF file. Pages is just impossible, okay, for us, because we're PC people. So so remember that when you're submitting different writing assignments, okay? All right, and that's it. If you have any issues, there is assistance in USC. You can just read through this in terms of Blackboard help, or turn it in. Turn it in's a big deal. Okay, I'm going to tell you straight up that we really don't tolerate cheating in this class. Okay, and everything that you write is going to be submitted through Turn It In, and I just think sometimes people forget how well Turn It In works to discover plagiarism. So, the university policy is pretty strict about plagiarism. You don't want to get an F in the class. They even inform us that if you copy from a student who took the class form, maybe 2-3 years ago, that we can retroactively change their grade to an F. So you don't even want to go that route, and you know what, you need to learn how to write anyway, so it's all good. Alrighty. Again, this is just, the traditional information that is going on in terms of all classes. I really want to highlight this, the communication. Too often we have students that approach us, whether, let's say it's the traditional spring, fall semester, it's the 15th week, and, oh, Dr. Walsh, I'm having all this trouble, what can you do to help me? And I've already submitted the grades, and it's just like, um, if you're having any issues, and obviously during these difficult times of the pandemic, people have issues, people have issues, period, and you got to bring us on board immediately, okay? Waiting to the last second, the final hour, then we're kind of handcuffed. There's not much we can do, If you're having issues early on, then we can figure out a program to work with you, okay? So don't wait to the bitter end if you're having problems, okay? All the readings, are open access, open resource, so you don't have to buy a book. It's a beautiful thing, okay? If you want to have interaction with us one-on-one, just send us an email, okay? And we list a time here, but actually, it's really best that we coordinate a time that's best for you and best for us, okay? And then we'll just we'll send you the link and we can Zoom, okay? Alrighty, here's the grading. All right, we got CT1, CT2, okay? Hey, you guys, a lot of you are graduating, which is awesome, congratulations, and you're looking to get a job, or maybe you already have a job, which is awesome. I have a couple of students that I wrote letters of recommendation for that just got jobs, in the real world. We're kind of training you to be able to recognize deadlines, and then to be able to wrap your head around the deadline, and make sure that you give yourself enough time so you can meet that deadline, okay? Obviously, in school, you're not going to get fired, but you're going to get points taken off, okay, if you don't meet these deadlines, okay? Again, this right here is maybe a 2 to 4 page paper with a lot of figures, and the same drill here, and you're going to get the figures from these online resources, okay? And I'm going to guide you through how to do each of these papers as well. I'm going to have a video, a how-to video just like this, okay? So, here in the not so real world of academics at your school, you just get points taken off, okay, if you're late. Again, it's put in through turn in. In the real world, okay, if you're working for Microsoft, okay, or Bank of America, or wherever you end up, and your boss comes in and says, hey, I need this thing by next week at 2, let's say today's Thursday, I need this a week from today at 2 o'clock, okay? And 2 o'clock rolls around the following week, and you're sitting there, la, 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 and you come up with these lame-ass excuses, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get fired, okay? So I think it's time to pretend like this is a job, okay? Alrighty, we have, so those are the papers. We have quizzes for every single weekly assignment. I'll show you how that works. They are all open right now, so you can mow them down as you wish. We have weekly discussions, and some weeks, again, are bunched, so you have 2 topics each week, okay? Calendar in the midterm exam, okay, calendar in the final exam. You have a window to do this that's most convenient for you. So we see here Sunday, June 26th through Friday, July 1st, okay, for the midterm. All right, so that's pretty straightforward. Once you lock in, once you go in, you have 2 hours. 2 hours, unless you have OSAS accommodations, okay? So once you're in, it's go time. All righty, cool. Here's the breakdown, right? So this is a marathon, all right? So there's lots of little assignments cumulatively, as they aggregate. You do one thing, another thing, and then you add them all up and you get 100%, okay? So that's the drill. Most people we have found get A's in this class, okay? All right, you do the work, you get an A. It's boom, bada bing, okay? You don't do the work, something else is going to happen. So we've found that this traditional grading scale works perfectly. All righty. And that's it. We have all this other stuff that's traditional syllabus you should read about, conduct, and etc. Here's all the resources USC has to help you out if you're having issues. And then this is a blow-by-blow weekly schedule that you should, again, study, calendar, and get used to doing. This is just 6 weeks, okay? All right, very cool. That's it. Awesome. All right, so let's go back to our Blackboard page. What do you say, guys? Okay, I'm in. All righty. Sorry. Boom, right there. Okay, so we were in syllabus, okay? And so we'll just go back here to the home page. Communication is key. So we'll be communicating through announcements, okay? I'm gonna post this video right here in the announcement, and then it's gonna be sent out to you as an email, okay? Now, we also, this is how to get an A, so we have a lot of instructional resources for this class as well, okay? And so we see it right here. It's called GERO 200 How-To Folders, all right? So you click on that, okay? Hey, this is last semester's How to Get an A, and this semester's is going right in there, okay? Okay. How to use Turnitin? Again, it's pretty straightforward, but don't plagiarize. So these are USC resources will take you there. It educates you on how to post for the discussions, okay? The weekly discussions, sometimes there's 2 separate topics, okay? You do a primary post and you post 3 times, 3, on your peers, okay, on your classmates' posts, and you be interactive, okay? That primary post has to have substance, okay? If you're adding GERO 200 late, all right, you have a buddy you're going to bring in, this explains to them what to do. Again, here's Blackboard help, okay? If you want to review your old quizzes, okay, just remember you just go into your grades, okay? You find it, and right here with the numbers, you click on that number, and the outcome of your old quiz will come up. Because, yeah, we draw from pools of questions, all right? And so some of the same questions will show up on the midterms, okay? All right. So if you get sick, have an emergency, again, you just gotta let us know. You gotta let us know, okay? All right, so and here's a little comic that we put in there, okay? Okay, it says, Brain, wow, we have so much work to do. Brain, yep, seems like a good time to get sick, which is sad. And that does happen. You know what, what is the biggest risk factor for getting sick, okay? Obviously being exposed to a virus, bacteria, but secondly is that if you're under a lot of stress, your immune system is suppressed, okay? So try not to be too stressed about this, okay? All right, so this is how it goes. Weekly assignments, you click right there, okay? So the drill is, I'm scrolling down, so again, it's laid out really nicely, okay? So it starts, like I said, Monday the 23rd, okay, and then I'm gonna show you what's in here, and then the assignments are due the following Monday, the 31st, okay, by 11:59 that evening. Okay, you go to 12 midnight, things are gonna get tagged as late. Every assignment says 11:59. You go to 12 midnight, you're late. You lose 10% right there. All right. So you can see that part 1 and part 2. Okay. All right. So we have 2 different components to the first week. Okay. All righty. And we come down here then. 3. Sorry, what am I talking about? 1, 2, 3. So we got off to the races. You'll be on it. Don't worry, I'm going to help you. Week 2, 3. Boom, boom, boom. Because remember, we are compressing 15 weeks into 6. Okay. So week 2 has 1, 2, 3. Week 3 has 1, 2. Boom. Week 4, 1, 2. Week 5, 1, 2, 3. All right. And week 6, 1, and then you're done. All right. All righty. Down here, we have some old discussions. If you want to look at that, look them up as you're studying for, say, the midterm or the final. All right, so I'm going to see that this first week, coming up on the 23rd, I'm going to access these 3 topics. Now, if you guys are just gunners, you can just mow these down. That's your choice, okay? But this is the way we've laid it out. So I click on first week, okay? My video is going to go right in here, okay? I'm going to have my intro video open. I'm also going to have a video where basically we will work through this reading, okay? It's fairly thick reading, so what I do is I just highlight, hey, these are the key aspects, okay? As you can see, we're going to go through from forward through trend 5, okay? And this is publication put out by the large federal agency that studies aging. This is not National Institute on Aging. There's supposedly a new one coming out, but this is the latest and greatest, okay? Then what you do, okay, is, and my suggestion to you is I would just go ahead and open it up a second time. So I would just go into Blackboard, and I would look at summer, and I'm going to open this up a second time, okay? Alrighty, so here's, I'm just going to get rid of that one. Here's my assignments, and the reason I'm doing this is I want to look at my quiz. All right, so here's my quiz. All right, I hit begin. Okay, all right, very cool. Okay, all right, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to go into my weekly assignment. Okay, I'm going to go back to week 1. Okay, but this time, okay, I'm going to pull up the reading. Bada bing. All right, and oops, sorry, there it is. All right, cool. And it was forward to part 5. So I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to kind of hunt down the key elements. I'm going to reduce this a little bit, and get a feeling. And I'm going to do this with you too. I'm going to do this in advance. So you're going to have a video of me kind of looking at this, saying, hey, this is an important part right here. I'll scroll down and I'll go, look at that. All right. So a key element that you guys are going to have to deal with in terms of population dynamics. And you can look right here, for example. This is again global, worldwide. Okay, we see that the dependents, okay, that require financial resources and your hands-on care. Okay, it used to be a situation where it was mostly children, and old people were not that big of a deal for you, sandwiched in the middle. But now you're going to see, when you guys are out here in this range, okay, so you guys are middle-aged, you're a big deal, either individually or society-wise, is going to be caring for the old folks. And that is a runaway train. So that's the kind of stuff that I would do, okay? And then, okay, remember I said, okay, you would be reading this, okay? And then you would just go back, and you would go back then to this, okay? And you would find answers to each of these questions, only 5 questions, okay? As you're reading it. So you just kind of go back and forth. That makes life a lot easier, okay? Awesome. Okay, so that's how you do that, all right? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just start bouncing around here on you guys. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna leave that page. I am, because I'm not gonna take the quiz right now. You will. All right, then the second part, here's your first discussion, okay? So this is just a little, discussion about myself, my family. There's my dog, Bella. She's awesome. She's a senior citizen. She just turned 13, okay? Right here is a little brief introduction to who I am, an old YouTube that I did, promotional for the School of Gerontology. And yes, I am a crazy surfer, all right? So this is all about me telling you all about my life as a professor, and then my life as a surfer as well, okay? So very cool. In fact, guess what? I'll show you something right now in a second. Go back over here. I'm going to exit this preview, okay, because we're done with this class. I'm going to go over here to my home page. It's going to list my courses. And the reason I'm doing this, I'm scrolling down here to my spring class. All right. And there it is. Yep, pura vida. Okay, so if we look at this like so, what is this all about? We are leaving Sunday. Okay, they have wireless. So I'll be doing lectures from down in Costa Rica. We're doing a May master class. We're taking 14 students from USC, and we're going to be in one of the blue zones, a great part of Costa Rica. This is actually the view from the restaurant balcony where we'll be doing lectures. And for all you surfers, yes, the wave breaks here and the wave breaks here, which is pretty awesome. So yes, because you're going to see a transition that happens at some point. All right, all good. All right. So so you go in now. Okay. What do? You click. Okay. All right. And you make a post. Okay. All right. So that's how that works. All right. and I'll show you how I do that later on. All right, so that's about it on that. Okay. Okay. So what else do we need to know? So that's every single week. Okay. So if I go back over here, all right, and I click on see week 3. Okay, and so there's some old discussions in there that we're going to be deleting from the previous semester. It can give you a feel of what's going on, but don't start posting yet. All right. So I'm gonna my video will go here. Here's your assignments. Okay. So what we do, we always like to provide a link. Okay. But just as backup, because links break, then we also have a PDF file. All right. So that's what this is right here. So we see defining generations. Okay. So I can go directly into this. Beautiful. And read about generations and how we define them. And and it may seem trivial, but it's defining a generation is super important in terms of setting up some of the societal support systems. Whether it's just how many schools we have and how many teachers we hire to resources like support systems for people that are older. All right, so that's what that's all about. Okay, so that worked. Okay, but if it didn't work, I would say, hey, I'm going to go to the PDF file. Okay, and oops, get my face out of there. Okay, cool. And pops, okay, the PDF file, which is a copy of that very article that we were looking at. Okay, now the difference is with this PDF file is it obviously it loses its interactive components. So a lot of these readings are really cool when you go to the website because they have really neat interactive components. For example, at this Pew Center here, we scroll down here and you can see, each one you can click on it and it takes you to something different. Okay. All right. So, anyways, big deal. All right. Back to where we were. Okay. So then, what would I would have done first? Okay, I didn't do it. So I may have to go backwards in time. I would have opened the quiz. Okay, and I would have begun the quiz, and then I would have gone to the separate page over here and have my browser open 2 times. Okay. And here it is. There's your quiz right there. Beautiful. Okay. All right, guys. Hopefully this is all making sense. I'm not taking the quiz. I'm getting out. And then we come down here, and you're going to see right now. Don't start posting yet. Okay. But you can see here if we go into the actual discussions. Okay. You'll see discussions. It says anonymous because these are the way people did their discussions last semester. So you're welcome to go in there and check them out, okay? Don't start working on this until class starts, okay? I'm going to be going in here and I'm going to deleting these. So we left these in here just in case you were curious, okay? So you can look at, for example, this person right here, okay? And you can see this is what they did, okay? So they read the material and they did their discussion, okay? Sometimes, okay, we're going to go back. People do the discussions and then there's a thread on theirs, okay? So, what you would do, if we go right here, and you like this comment, then this would be, remember, your primary post, which is what we're looking at right here, and then you would go like this, and you're gonna read this and, make a couple sentence statement about that person's perspective, okay? You can agree, disagree, whatever it is. Typity right here, and you hit submit, okay? So that's how that works. So it's all pretty straightforward, all right, guys? So you just got to stay on schedule. Stay on schedule. All right, here is leaving the page, okay? They're writing assignments. They're totally laid out what you have to do, okay? We tell you exactly what you need to do. We tell you where you need to go gather the data, okay, right here. For example, here's life expectancies, okay? So we take it over here, all right? And what we're going to see is, again, this is an amazing resource, okay? You scroll down, as we tell you to get to the interactive page. Here it is right there, okay? And so what you're going to do is you're going to choose the types of countries, okay? If you go back into the assignment, it tells you right here, that we want you to collect data from the US and 2 different countries. One must be developing, okay? All right, and what is a developing country? Hey, there you go. There's a list of developing countries. All right, so it's all laid out for you. And then I'm not going to go through it because I'm going to have a separate video for this later on that describes how I would write this paper. Every single writing assignment has, right, a rubric, and that's what we're looking for. So you got to check all the boxes when you're writing it, and that's how you get all the points, right? Here's some FAQs right here. Here's examples, okay, of gathering the data that I was just talking about, all right? There's 2 different resources here, and we'll see that later on. And this is my how-to video, okay? How I did it for spring semester 2022, all right? So we really lay things out. Here's, hey, my BUAD majors, okay? This is a really cool critical thinking assignment, number 2, all right? And so what this is all about is financial planning, all right? So we're gonna ask you to do an IRA, a Roth IRA analysis with this guy, and then we'll look at a 401k, all right? We're taking a heavy hit right now, okay, in terms of stock market, but it always comes back. And so you'll make a projection of the income you would earn based on, say, anywhere from a 5 to a 8% return on your investment. All right, that's what that's all about. All right, lots of information, rubric, and then we see down here FAQs, okay, and then the last one, which is the bigger one. All right, it's about a 10-page paper. You have to have resources at the very end. And what's cool about it is you're interviewing your grandparent, man. All right, it's so cool. And like I said, video archive this thing. All right, it's essential. All right, that's what that's all about. So we did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here to student mode. Right. All right, so I access that by getting into the writing assignments here. We talked about the midterms. They're not open right now, but they will open according to the dates, okay? You can also do this extra credit assignment if you want. If you feel like, God, I need a few more points, all right, you click on that, all right, and this guides you as to what you're to do. It's really about your story right now during the pandemic and how things have been impacted. It's been a strange couple of years, believe me. I mean, everybody was just so psyched. We're coming back, and right, oh, I'm going to be back in the classroom. Of course, we had the waves of the coronavirus, okay? People got afraid. And then there was also, people didn't realize that doing all Zoom or online education was actually pretty cool in terms of time commitment. And they found that when they were back living in apartments, going to USC, that they had nothing but trouble juggling all the different commitments that they had. And so in my classes, I had a couple of big classes, a GE class that some of you may have taken, a Journey into the Mind, 200 students. And, you know, towards the end of the semester, we were lucky if 30 students were showing up. You know, it was, but I was flexible, you know, on that. So, you know, a lot of people had trouble this last year, you know, and it's understandable. So, all righty, guys. I think that is about it. We've gone through everything, okay? And we're always looking for constructive feedback. So you can do this survey, okay? It's anonymous, okay? You can do it multiple times, and we look at that and we try and modify things, all right? Okay, my friends. All right, so I think I've covered all the bases. You do everything, you do the work, you get an A. It's really straightforward. This is, again, this is a rewarding class too. So I think you're going to see that it's worthwhile to put in the time because you will be able to apply the new knowledge that you have immediately. All right, guys. I'm going to say later. There's a picture of my beautiful wife Julie and my boys. Peace, and I'll be sending out some new videos pretty soon for the 3 lectures that are going to happen next week.